might just change. It just buzzed the front gate. Thank God you came. How many more days could I wait? I made plans with you, and I won't let them fall through. I think I lie for you. I think I die for you. Jealousy cry for you. Do things when you want me to. Like controller, controller. Yeah, like controller, controller. Yeah, okay. You like it when I get aggressive. Tell you to go slower, go faster. Like controller, controller. Yeah, like controller, controller. Yeah. And I'm never on a wasting shawty. I do it how you say you want it. Them girls, they just wanna take my money. They don't want me to give you nothing. They don't want you to have nothing. They don't wanna see me find your love. They don't wanna see me smiling back when they pre-knowing I lie for you. Thinking I die for you. Jealousy cry for you. Do things when you want me to.
All right, now that this mono microphone has been put together, before we take this thing into the real world, I kind of wanted to go over a few different things with you guys. All right, so this thing is wireless, but it can be wired. So they actually give you two cords, not one, but two. You have the longer version. Again, this one actually has a old USB or a USB-C to a USB-C. So you guys can kind of see that and how long this is. Okay, pretty long. I would say this is actually this is not bad. It's pretty long. All right, but you have the choice of either using the old USB or the new USB-C. You just put that on there and then you're good to go. All right, all right. So right here, again, we have the little small receiver. You got to be careful because it is extremely easy to lose this thing. So what I heard a lot of people were doing, they just plug it in the back of the microphone when they're not using it, which makes sense. I think it makes sense. Right here, you have another cord. And this right here, again, is a USB-C, USB, and then they have a HER port. You just plug that into the USB-C. All right, y'all just give me 1 second. Let me finish wrapping this up, okay? All right, put it in there. All right, 4 ounces of ground turkey, and then we also got what I call my little cheat code, which is my Parmesan cheese, and that has about 10 grams of protein for 110 calories. Cheat code. All right, so let me just pour this in there. We need 28 grams. That's the rest of it. Might as well go ahead. 32 versus 28. Same thing, same thing. They actually have an app where you can download for the mono microphone. So you can control different things like the headphones, the gains, and also the RGB lighting. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and download the app real quick. All right, and we're just gonna type in mono, and mono microphone pops up. We're gonna go ahead and download. It should say mono link as of today, which is July the 1st, 2026. All right, we're gonna go ahead and agree. No, we don't need to claim anything. All right, so it's waiting. All right, so what we're gonna do is we'll take this right here. All right, I just realized that my other phone didn't have it on there. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and tap on the open, agree. All right, exit out of that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and turn on the microphone. All right, so the on and off button is right here in the middle. So we're just gonna click and hold until, there we go. Now you see the RGB lights on. So that means that the microphone is on. We good. This thing is blinking. So maybe it's telling us to plug something in. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take the receiver, plug that into the phone like that, and then we wait. There it is. So it's asking is it headphones or other device? So I'm gonna tap other device. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and confirm. Cool beans, confirm. And there we go. So on here, I mean, you guys can see it. So on here, we can kind of see that the microphone is picking up something. I'm not gonna let you guys hear the audio just yet. So we can control the microphone gain. Right now we're at a 7. We can take it all the way up to a 20 or all the way down to 0. We're gonna put it back at 7. All right. Then we also have the headphone volume. Headphone volume is at 20. We can take it down to 0. You know, you control that. It has noise reduction, slight, moderate, or aggressive. We're gonna leave that thing on aggressive. And then you have the different scenes. You got original, podcast, game, and scene. Now, we ain't gonna let y'all hear that voice just yet. I'll do a little bit of singing.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Jerry.
We're gonna say that for later. So you got podcast 1 and podcast 2. So with one of these receivers, you can actually have up to 2 different microphones, which is dope. You only need one receiver for 2 different mics. That's dope. So we scroll down a little bit more, you can see the lights. All right, so we can loop that thing, which is on loop right now. You can actually go into that, and if you don't want it to loop, you just want it to breathing, which it'll kind of like fade in and fade out. As you guys can kind of see, it's fading in and fading out. And you can change the color, yellow, blue, all the rest of these other colors that you see on here, even white. That don't look like white, but all right, okay. Or you can have it fixed, which means it's gonna stay that solid color the entire time. All right, I don't know, it's just something about blue, I love blue. All right, but we're gonna change that thing back to looping. And right now we're on 15% brightness. We can take that thing all the way up to 100. And I can definitely see the difference. I don't know if you guys can, but I can definitely tell the difference. Between that, we're gonna take it back down to 15. Yeah, so the thing about this microphone is you can charge this thing. So they said that you can get up to about 60 hours. 60 hours before this thing dies. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that's dope. Anyway, all right, I think we done went through pretty much everything that we need to talk about on here. Let me see, we got the external output, and then yes, we got the PW, blah, blah, blah. We don't need no help right now. So right now, this thing is at 100%. What else we got? What other information do we got? No copy info. All right, cool beans. Okay, so now we done dialed through all the rest of the other stuff. Now we're gonna get into the sound quality. Let's see how this thing sounds. Okay, so one thing that I actually just figured out is this thing actually will cut off if you're not using it and it's not plugged into anything. So that's a dope little feature. All right, so what you guys are hearing right now is the audio from my phone. All right, we're gonna go ahead and plug this thing in and see what it sounds like plugged in. Let go. All right, so now you are hearing the audio of my voice going straight into the microphone. So y'all let me know what this sounds like. Does it sound better? I don't know. All right, so I want to do a comparison. So this is how far I am from the mic. This is how far and what it sounds like when I'm from the mic. This is what it sounds like when I'm still speaking regular, but my voice, my mouth is this far away from the mic. I don't know. After hearing and seeing a lot of people rant and rave about this microphone, I think that it's going to do a great job, but I will let y'all be the judge. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to try out is what does it sound like when we plug this directly into the microphone? Because I think that I did notice a change what it sounded like when it was wireless versus being wired. So we're going to go ahead and plug this into the USB-C on the side of the receiver. So this part is going to go directly into the back of the microphone, and then this part right here is going to go into the USB-C on the side of the wireless transmitter. Let's see what that sounds like. All right, so we can't be that far away from the phone because this wire is not that long. It's probably like maybe 3, maybe 4 feet. I don't know, somewhere along those lines. But What do you guys think? Do y'all think that it is a difference between the wireless versus the wired? Let me know. So this is what it sounds like when it is wired. Now let's see what it sounds like wireless. Now this is what it sounds like wireless. Wired, wireless. All right, so the last thing that I wanted to try out is we're gonna see how far we can get away from the receiver. Let's go test it outside real quick. Let go. All right, so I wanted to show you guys this is what it looks like. And you guys can kind of see the distance between the phone and the microphone. And you guys can also be able to hear what does a quality sound like from this distance. Now, I think that it says that it goes up to 60 meters, but I have no idea what the hell most people would need for their microphone to be 60 meters away from their receiver. But, we're just going to keep going until the audio goes out. If the audio is still going, then I am definitely surprised. All right. So we are far. I can barely see my my camera right now. And if the audio is still picking up, then that is crazy. All right. So we have made it all the way to the end. Now I'm going to walk back and see if the audio automatically picks back up when we get back in that, I believe it was like 60-meter range before we get back into this thing. But yeah, you guys are gonna have to let me know, what does that audio sound like. I am definitely ready to get back in here and get this workout in, because it's like 90 something degrees outside. It feels better in the gym. So yeah, y'all let me know, what do you guys think about this mono wireless microphone? All right. One word. Wow. I did not expect for that microphone to be able to pick up from way back there, but it did. Not only did it do it, it did an exceptional job. It didn't disconnect at all. And I'm going to tell y'all, it was so much going on out there. I'm talking about kids, cars, airplanes, birds. But the only thing that I heard was me. So it did a very, very great job with distance, did a great job at noise canceling, which is another reason why I actually took it to the gym, because I know it echoes in that room so bad. Now, we don't went over distance, we don't went over noise canceling. The next thing I want to talk about is the look of this microphone. And I mean, the look pretty much speaks for itself. It looks like a high quality microphone. Then on top of that, you have your little RGB lights that go around this thing that looks dope. And I just want to point out something, because one thing that I found on every single last video that I checked out about this microphone before I got it, it seemed like a lot of creators had this microphone sent to them. And sometimes, or even most cases, you got to take those reviews with a grain of salt. And so you don't have to worry about that here. So I actually bought this with my own money. Well, actually, it was Amazon affiliate links. Shout out to you guys for that. But they did not send this. This video was not sponsored in any type of way. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I was honestly looking forward to talking trash about this microphone. I look forward to pointing out flaws about tech products. I really do. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. So let's talk about the price. So this microphone, for that price, and I think that it was actually like 80 something dollars, because I got it when it was like on Prime or something like that. And it is definitely worth the money, in my opinion, for that price. Because when you start talking about podcast microphones, again, most of them have to be wired. The fact that this thing is wireless and it sounds the way that it sounds, and you can also change different things or whatever if you don't like the way that it sounds. Again, another bonus is it has its own app. So listen, we just started dating. I just got this microphone, and you know how things are when you first get something, especially when it surprises you. You get excited. But we're going to live with this microphone, and I may do another video a little bit later on to tell you guys, what it's like when I actually live with something, because we all know everything changes when that when that thing comes to live with you. I don't like it. This person snoring their sleep or whatever. Like you find little things with those devices or people or whatever. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time with this microphone. I do want to, my storage ran out on my camera. My bad. But going back into what I was saying, But going back into what I was saying, for $80 something to get this Mayano, got to make sure I'm saying it right, Mayano microphone. This thing is incredible, but I do want to live with this thing for a little bit just to see if we can find some things that I don't like about this microphone. You guys, y'all let me know. Do y'all want to see me compare this microphone with any of the other podcast microphones out there? But this was not sent to me. My reviews are not biased in any type of way. I'm actually one of the guys that look forward to speaking and talking about the shortcomings of a product. So that way you guys already know what you're getting into before you purchase that product. But again, y'all drop it down in the comments and let me know if you guys want me to compare this microphone to any other microphone out there. All right. Until the next time, y'all be blessed. Y'all be beautiful. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Blueberry, Burberry, button-up, tan skin, mixed race, buttercup, Canada weather, got a bundle up. I'm tryna work, she hit my phone, she wanna, whoa, too bad was you know they